You know that feeling?
Oh, I do.
It's like 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. You open up X, maybe LinkedIn, and your stomach just drops.
The feed is just screaming at you.
Exactly. Yesterday, everyone said you had to master ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Today, there's a new tool that supposedly makes that one completely obsolete.
Yep.
It feels like you're running a race where the finish line just keeps moving. We call it AI fatigue.
It is exhausting. And, it's totally counterproductive. It creates this paralysis where you feel like if you aren't using 50 different apps, you're already failing.
But here's the secret we're going to unpack today. The people who are actually winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the ones chasing every shiny new toy. They are the ones mastering the fundamentals.
Right. They aren't memorizing dashboards. They're learning how the machine actually thinks.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are slowing things down. We're taking a look at the 2026 AI Fundamentals Handbook.
I love this.
And think of this as the antidote to all that overwhelming noise. We're going to strip away the hype and just look at the underlying skills.
The driving skills.
The driving skills that apply no matter what vehicle you're in.
I love that analogy. It's so good. If you learn to drive on a Toyota, you can hop into a Ford and, you'll be just fine.
Sure.
But if you only memorize which button turns on the radio in that Toyota, you are lost the second you switch cars. Today is about learning to drive.
We have a roadmap for this conversation. We're covering 5 pillars that the source material says are essential for 2026.
Okay.
We're talking prompting, but the rigorous way. We're talking categorization, agents, open source, and something called vibe coding.
Which is my absolute favorite part. It's wild.
We will get there. But first, let's start with the most critical skill, just talking to the machine. The source makes a really interesting distinction here. It says most people fail because they treat AI like Google.
This is the classic mistake. When we use Google, we've been trained for 20 years to think in keywords. Best pasta recipe, weather London.
Right, a search query.
It's a search query. But AI isn't a search engine, it's a reasoning engine. You aren't searching, you're constructing.
Constructing, that is a key word.
It is. You're building a set of instructions. The source introduces a framework for this. It's called TCREI. TCREI.
Okay, let's unpack this acronym. So T stands for task.
The task. And this is where people get lazy. They say, help me with a workout.
That's way too vague.
It's so weak.
Yeah.
The AI has to guess. Are you a bodybuilder? Are you training for a marathon? The framework demands strong verbs. So instead of help me, use create a detailed 4-week running schedule.
It's the difference between asking a friend, what should I eat, versus order me a pepperoni pizza.
Precisely. Clarity is king. Which brings us to C for context.
Who, where, and why.
Exactly.
I love the example the handbook gave here. It really paints a clear picture.
It does.
So instead of just create a running schedule, you add all this detail. I am a 40-year-old male. I haven't exercised in 5 years. I have bad knees, and I can only run on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Think about how much better the output becomes with that context. Without it, the AI gives you this generic plan that might just blow out your knees in week 1.
Yeah.
With context, it understands constraints. It becomes a personalized coach, not some generic article generator.
Then we have our references. The source calls this one the secret weapon.
And it is. This is the step almost everyone skips. It's incredibly difficult to describe a vibe or a tone with just adjectives. If I tell you to write something professional but witty, your definition of that is probably totally different from mine.
So instead of trying to describe it, you just show it.
Exactly. You paste in an example, a previous email you wrote that worked really well, a LinkedIn post you liked. You just tell the AI, use the writing style, sentence length, and tone of the text below. It mimics the pattern.
And that's how you escape that robotic generic AI voice.
It's the only way. Then finally you have E and I.
Evaluate and iterate.
The reality check.
I have to be vulnerable here for a second. This is where I struggle. I still have this magic button expectation,
Oh, yeah. Everyone does.
I type in the prompt, and if the result isn't perfect, I get frustrated. I call it prompt drift. I just kind of give up.
You and everyone else. But the source makes such a vital point here. The AI gets you 80% of the way there.
Which is a miracle in itself.
It is. But that last 20%, that is on you. You have to talk back to it, make it more enthusiastic. You missed the part about my knees. Shorten that third paragraph.
So it's a collaboration, not a transaction.
Correct.
Let me ask you this, though. If the task and context are clear, if I tell it what to do and who I am, why does the source say the reference step is the one people usually skip? Why is that the hurdle?
Because it requires digging up old work. It requires friction. You have to go find a file, copy it, paste it. We're lazy. We want to type one sentence and be done. But that friction is the only price you pay to escape mediocrity. It's the only way to sound like you and not some robot.
That's a perfect segue into the tools themselves, because once you know how to talk to them, you realize there are hundreds of them. The source calls this section the core 4.
And this is all about simplification. You do not need 50 apps. You just need to fill 4 buckets.
Bucket 1, general reasoning engines, the brain.
These are your daily drivers. Your ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. They're for logic, for writing, for brainstorming. The source says just pick one based on vibes.
Yeah, the author mentioned they like Gemini for writing, but ChatGPT for logic.
And that's fine. They're all racing neck and neck. Just pick one. But, and this is so critical, do not use them for facts.
Which brings us to bucket 2, research engines.
This is maybe the most dangerous confusion in AI right now. General engines, like ChatGPT, are prediction machines.
Yeah.
They just predict the next most likely word. They don't know facts. They hallucinate. If you ask ChatGPT who won the World Cup in 1998, it might be right, or it might just say a country that sounds plausible.
So for facts, you need a different tool, a research engine.
Right. Tools like Perplexity or Consensus. These actually connect to the live internet. They read real websites, they cite their sources. They don't just guess, they report.
Okay, so bucket 3, specialist tools, the artists.
These are for when good enough isn't good enough. Midjourney for images, 11 Labs for audio, Sora for video.
So a general tool like ChatGPT can make an image, sure.
But a specialist tool like Midjourney will make art.
And finally, bucket 4, workflow automators, the glue.
Zapier, Make. These are the boring ones that will save your life. They just move data. When I get an email attachment and save it to Dropbox, that kind of thing.
So looking at this whole landscape, the danger isn't missing out on the latest hot tool. The danger is using a brain tool when you actually need a research tool.
Exactly. You're using a creative storyteller to check facts. That is just a recipe for disaster.
Moving on to the third pillar. This one feels like a real glimpse into the future, the shift from chatbots to agents.
This is the difference between an assistant and an intern.
Break that down for us.
Okay, think about the old way, or, the current way for most people.
Right.
The chatbot. You treat it like a conversation partner.
Mm-hmm.
You want to book a flight to London, you ask what flights are available, it gives you a list. Then you have to go to the website, you type in your credit card, you hit book, you're the middleman.
You're doing all the legwork.
Right. An agent is different. With an agent, you just say, book the cheapest flight to London for Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then you walk away.
Wow.
The agent browses the web, it selects the flight, it inputs your payment info, and it emails you the ticket.
That's a massive shift. It's delegating versus just asking for information.
It changes your role entirely. The source uses the example of researching coffee history. In the chatbot era, you ask for articles, you read them, you synthesize them.
Right.
In the agent era, you tell the agent, read 10 articles on coffee history, filter out the bad info, and write me an outline.
It's incredible. We're seeing this with tools like Perplexity's agent features or Claude projects, where it acts as an expert on your specific data.
It's awe-inspiring, really. We're moving from being the worker bees to being the managers of these digital interns.
So does this mean the fundamental skill itself shifts? If I'm not doing the research, what am I doing?
You're verifying.
Yeah.
The skill shifts from gathering the news to being the editor-in-chief.
Right. We become editors-in-chief, not the beat reporter.
Exactly. Your judgment becomes your most valuable asset.
We're going to take a quick break to thank our partners who make this deep dive possible. And we are back. We've talked about prompting, tools, and agents. Now we need to talk about something that feels a bit more technical, but the source argues is actually about privacy and longevity. Open source.
Owning the engine.
Right. The concept here is renting versus owning. When we use ChatGPT, we are renting intelligence from OpenAI.
And that comes with baggage. First, privacy. They can see your data. If you're pasting in confidential business strategy or your personal journal, that's just sitting on someone else's server.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Second, cost. You're paying that monthly subscription. And third, control. If their servers go down, your brain goes offline.
So the solution is open source models, things like Llama 3 or DeepSeek.
Exactly. These are models you can actually download. You download the brain directly to your laptop. It runs locally.
So no data leaves your computer.
None. It works offline. It costs $0.
The source mentions a tool called a Llama, O-L-L-A-M-A.
Llama has been a complete game changer. It used to be you needed to be a hacker to run these things. Now you download a Llama, click a button, and you have a chatbot running on your hard drive that looks just like ChatGPT.
Is this strictly for the privacy nets, the tinfoil hat brigade, or is there a practical, a longevity argument here?
It is absolutely a longevity play. It's future-proofing.
How so?
Imagine if internet prices spike or regulations change or a company goes out of business. If you rely entirely on the cloud, you're vulnerable. If you have the model on your drive, you own your own digital brain forever. No one can take it away from you.
That brings us to our final pillar. And honestly, this is the one that blew my mind the most. No code building, or as the cool kids are calling it.
Vibe coding. I love the term. It perfectly captures how the barrier to entry has just, well, it's dissolved.
For 30 years, if you wanted to build software, you had to learn a foreign language. Python, JavaScript, C++.
Now, English is the programming language.
The source gives this example of a small business owner. They want a calculator on their website. In the old days, that's a $500 job for a freelancer.
Or a month of trying to learn code yourself. Now, you open a tool like Replit or Cursor, and you just describe it.
What would that sound like?
You just type, create a web page with sliders for hours and rate, multiply them for total cost, make the background blue, and it just appears.
And if you don't like the blue...
You don't rewrite the code. You just say, change the background to white, and the AI rewrites the code for you.
This is empowering on a level I don't think we fully grasp yet.
It means the only limit is your imagination. The tools listed like Replit for beginners with its agent feature, or Google AI Studio for prototyping, they allow anyone to manifest an idea.
But here's the catch. If the syntax barrier is gone, if I don't need to know where the semicolon goes, what becomes the new bottleneck for creation?
Clarity of thought, logic. If you can't explain specifically what you want, if you have fuzzy thinking, the AI cannot build it.
The computer will do exactly what you say.
Which is often the problem if you don't know what you're saying.
So we're back to prompting, in a way.
Everything is prompting. Coding is just prompting with higher stakes.
So let's zoom out. We've covered a lot of ground today. TCREI, the Core 4, agents, open source, vibe coding. It's a lot.
It is. But remember the mission here. We're trying to stop the fatigue.
It goes back to that driving lesson analogy. If you master these fundamentals, it doesn't really matter what tool comes out in 2027 or 2030.
Exactly. The shift we're describing is moving from being a consumer or a renter of these tools to being a pilot, an owner.
The source ends with a challenge, and I want to pass this on to you, the listener. Don't try to do all of this at once. That's how you get burnout.
Pick one thing. Just one. Maybe this week you focus purely on that TCREI framework. Don't worry about agents or coding. Just get really, really good at writing structured prompts.
Or do a spring cleaning. Look at your bookmarks bar. Do you have 20 AI tools saved? Delete them. Pick your core 4 brain, research, specialist, automator, and commit to them.
Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication here.
You are no longer just a user. You are a pilot.
So start your engine.
And enjoy the ride. Thanks for diving duck with us. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah.